So in Leach's 7 types of meaning, we have done in detail the definition of word, what is conceptual or denotative or cognitive meaning. We've done the second type, which is what is connotative meaning. In the last class, we did what you understand today as stylistic meaning. Therefore, today's topic is the 4th type of meaning, affective meaning. Affective meaning is a sort of meaning which can affect the personal feelings of speakers, including his or her attitude to the listener or his or her attitude to something he or she is talking about. In order to get people's attention to be quiet, we might say either, "I'm terribly sorry to interrupt, but I wonder if you would be so kind as to lower your voice a little," or "Will you belt up?" Factors such as intonation and voice timbre are also important here. The impression of politeness in the sentence 1 can be reserved by tone of biting sarcasm. Sentence 2 can be turned into a playful remark between intimates if delivered with the intonation of a mild request. Let's make more sense of what we understand by affective meaning. We are all in schools and colleges taught that certain statements in themselves issue authority and order, and certain statements in themselves are very pleasing, very informal, very intimate. It takes place between two people who know each other very, very closely. Interestingly, however, affective meaning denies it and says a sentence which might sound like an order can be given in a very playful tone. Let's take an example. Two friends are talking. One is telling a secret to the other, and the other friend seems to be busy with his or her phone. And you end up issuing the statement on your friend, "Will you belt up? Will you shut up and listen to me?" That's a playful, private, intimate tone. You do not mean to offend your friend. You want to draw his or her attention towards the conversation that you're making. Reversely, take the scenario of a classroom. I am explaining something to the 60 of you, and 59 of you are generally lost in your own worlds. 48 of you are generally talking to each other. So in that case, if I issue the same statement, "Will you shut up and listen to me?" This is neither playful, although most of you think it is, but it's not. This is neither playful nor intimate, and I am thoroughly offended by the idea of me preparing a lecture and coming and delivering it, and none of you paying any kind of attention to it. Therefore, what is this that has changed? So there was one phrase used in the paragraph of affective meaning that I was reading. It's called voice timbre. The quality of your voice suddenly became, in the sense, ordering in one case and playful and intimate in the other. This is called affective meaning. Let's take another example. So the phrase that you have to keep in attention is for affective meaning is voice timbre and intonation. Now intonation is, let's say there is a huge audience gathered for a story listening competition or an elocution, and the participant comes up on the stage and says, "I am sorry to interrupt your conversations, but you please give me a moment of your time." Okay? So much said. This is an earnest request which is made by someone who's on the stage requesting the audience to keep quiet. Now suppose Again, let's take a teacher comes up in the audience of a school and wishes to make a certain announcement. None of the students are giving her a chance. And the teacher ends up saying sarcastically, "Would you please stop your conversations for just a second, your important conversations, and give my absolutely useless announcement 1 second of your really busy schedule?" This, my dears, in case you never understood before, is called sarcasm, where you mean the exact opposite of what you end up saying. Therefore, the same statement issued under different circumstances by different speakers holding different designations or positions can mean absolutely different things. Therefore, the phase that you have to maintain, the two phases that you have to constantly remember while talking about effective meaning is intonation and voice timbre. So, whatever impression you're casting on the audience, always remember it has got to do with what you're going to say, but it has more got to do with how you're going to put it across. Students who go for elocutions and debates generally miss out on this fact a lot. They think that just because you yell, you win a prize and you come. It is not that, and it's not that simple. The intonation and the timbre of your voice has to convey passionately what you feel about. And therefore, what might sound to you as shouting is actually a lot of factual passion which is coming forth on the stage. Therefore, one of the most important criteria of infusing sentences with meaning is through affective meaning. And it depends on your relation with your audience. It depends on your relation with whosoever is interacting with you. It also depends on the relation between a subordinate and a senior, and hierarchical relations also come under the genre of affective meaning. For example, my own faculty speaking to me and principal sir speaking to faculty are two very different criteria of discussion. And so meaning of this very same sentences can change accordingly. Once more, let's go over the initial sentences because they add a different context as well. Affective meaning is a sort of meaning which affects the personal feelings of speakers, including his or her attitude to the listener or his or her attitude to something or what he or she is talking about. So through affective meaning or through analyzing statements through affective meaning, one can know a lot personally about the speaker. One can figure out whether the speaker is belongs to which class, which creed. One can also figure out what is the audience of the speaker. One can maintain a lot of things, and through a lot of people say the words that you choose to utter, even in your most intimate friends and in your most intimate conversations, they describe a lot about your personality. So personality traits can be figured out through affective meaning. In literature, when affective meaning is used, you can make a hint of how the author wishes to characterize certain characters through how they talk. For example, black people in novels speak mostly in pidgin nigger. So through their language only you can hear the accent in your brain that they are uttering. This is typifying someone. This is called to typify someone, and the mode that you use is the mode of inculcating affective meaning. And through this generation of meaning, you can create in literature entire characters. How do you do it as an advocate? Where is this important for you? For bringing up somebody's circumstance, putting somebody low, creating affective meaning is of paramount importance. And your client and who the case is registered against, whether you're on the defending side or the prosecuting side, you can use sentences filled with affective meaning to prove your point, to discredit someone, or even to give a lot of self-respect to a certain person. Both can be done with the voice timbre and the designation that you have, if you associate it with the sentences that you will create and the meaning effectively, emotionally that will be given to them, it's a part of case building, and therefore effective meaning is extremely useful. The next one that we'll do in the next class is reflected meaning.